So I've just finished listening to Harry Styles' new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, and this is going to be, it's more a critical analysis, I suppose, rather than your typical reaction. I've cut this down for YouTube, but I've included the whole album, and if you want the full more in-depth thing, then check out the link for the Patreon in description, where I'll go into more detail, I guess. I think the video was like twice as long as the actual album is, but overall I enjoyed listening to it and understanding and articulating, or trying to understand what I like about it, and what I don't like about it, and why, and where I feel there was missed opportunities. There's some great stuff on there as well, isn't there? So let me know what you think about the album. And here's the video. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm checking out Harry Styles' new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. I've watched I reacted to the One Night in Manchester thing, and I really enjoyed the first few tracks, and then maybe less so kind of in the middle. And I don't know if that was the day of how I was feeling it, or if my concerns were valid. It seems from the comments that there's kind of mixed opinion on it, but it is only fair to give the album a listen. Often great albums you can be unsure with on the first listen. Even like AM by Arctic Monkeys, which is probably in my top 5 all-time albums, I had a similar response to that, I guess. But the more you listen, the more you see or the more you hear is often the case, isn't it? Let's check it out. Open mind. Here we go. I do love this. The beginning of this, is so Spaceman 3. I haven't been back and listened to that album though, although I did mean to. But yeah, Reoccurring by Spaceman 3. Check that out. What I do like about this tune as well, one of the things I like is the length, putting a single out for over 5 minutes long. It's kind of refreshing to see, I think, in an era where, our attention spans are supposedly nuked, beyond anything that's gone before. But I like that. It's a nice euphoric chorus line as well, isn't it? I love the gradual build of it as well. The dynamics are done well on this tune. Like this part previously just feels bigger now, doesn't it? I wonder, what... Maybe I should watch the Zane Lowe interview, because I'm curious about his choices, I guess, when it comes to... I'm curious about his vocal choices, mix-wise, the effects or the layers that he's kind of putting in on his voice. And is that because he wants to be seen as more like a serious musician or an artist? Because I feel the feeling of the album could still be preserved and elevated, I think, if the vocal was more direct when it comes to production, because he's got such a great voice as well, and a lovely voice, not just a strong, powerful voice, and he can sing and that, but there's character in his voice, isn't there? I mean, on these choruses, it kind of cuts through, but on those verses, I'm not sure. See, I think his vocal works fantastically on the start of this one, doesn't it? You know, there's emotion in it. Is that the right word I'm looking for? You know, the layers of just it feels human, I suppose. And I think it's important if you're going to go far out on a track. It's important to have a human element that grounds it, I suppose. When everything is you know, quantized to the beat, you need something with a bit of give. You know, you need something that's not as rigid. And this illustrates, I suppose, what I'm on about, because this piano at the beginning, I think it's a piano. It's like it's jarring, isn't it? You know, it's sharp. It's almost a little painful to listen to. But then some softer things come in as like a juxtaposition to that, you know, and it does soften the blow of that initial pain, you know. But if it came in and these vocals were feeling like the verses on Aperture, it would just be a bit ugly, you know what I mean? That's sharp, isn't it, you know, to the ears. Almost a little painful. And that kick drum, that kick is real, doing a great job as well, isn't it? Just feeling real, you know. I do remember, I'm starting again one more time. I do remember Keith Richards saying that if they were ever struggling, because I think you can even suffer with it, you know, with electric guitar tones and everything. So he was saying if a song wasn't quite coming together, he's like, just put an acoustic guitar on it, you know, even if it's real low in the mix, you know, just that sort of, what would it be, that natural sound, because there's something about it, you know, that pulls it together. You should try it. Yeah, I really like the sound of this. The song as well, you know, everything just sounds real, you know, and alive. I love that sort of bass lead synth there as well, you know, just on the edge, isn't it? But that like distorted electronic sound works well because of everything else being a bit real, you know. It's a great melody in this one. I suppose this is only the second time I've heard this one, but it's in my head already, you know. And I think after listening to this one live, I was excited for the rest of the album, you know. One time is alright. Two times is one too many. You touch me good night. Butterfly both our bellies. Ready, steady, go. You know, so what? I'm just. Oh, is it right for me to try and recall how I was feeling during the concert? What I think about this, you know, I think it starts so well, and the Ready Steady Go bit, you know, is a catchy earworm, isn't it? And I think where this song falls apart a little bit for me is with structure, and I think it highlights to me the importance of structure. Something I've been struggling with recently, you know, because after all these years, finally wanting to put an album together and knowing that I've got what I think are great songs or could be great songs, but most of them, you know, they're a collection of good ideas rather than good songs, you know, good melodies, good lyrics, good parts, you know, and it's taking me, I mean, I've selected the sort of 10, 11, it's going to be like a 10-song album, I guess, but I've selected the 10 songs that I think are going to be on it. Maybe one or two of those might be substituted out for something else. But it's what's taking me the time at the minute is structuring, you know, structuring songs for maximum emotional impact, I suppose. I couldn't put words in Harry's mouth, I guess. Maybe he's just, this is, how he wants it to go, But I think personally, maybe for my tastes or, maybe it's, I don't know. I just feel, let me just play it. It's just going on and on. Because whether so I think this song could have been fantastic. I think he's missed the trick with it personally. And that's not to say that, every arrangement needs to be pop-tastic or anything like that, but it needs to. I'm wary of judgment, I suppose, but I can only express my own feelings, I suppose, and how it makes me feel. I just feel missed opportunity with that track, Because as artists, we all want to make the best records we can possibly make, right?
Life is on the brink, and your therapist well-fed. The fix of all fixes, an intimate sex. You like the way she talks, never what she says. You've had your tummy tickled.
That's a good line, isn't it? You like the way she talks, but not what she says.
Don't blink or mix the medium. You're smarter than that. This world is screaming.
Yeah, this feels powerful, man. It's good lyrics.
It's fun if you know how.
Yeah, man. This tune, I would vote this as a good one. Maybe I'll come back to this, in a few months, because I'm going to start doing ranking videos, I think. Maybe try and, not to stop too much and do my big monologues, but we'll see. But yeah, this is nice, man. Powerful, isn't it? Great lyrics. Ignoring friends at the end of their rope and all that. It makes me feel something,
God knows your life is on the brink. Now you're all having choices. Are you listening yet? Oh, are you listening yet? Oh, are you listening yet?
See, I think this is where this one's missing a trick again, because we've gone sort of like verse, chorus. It's great, it's brilliant, and I kind of want, if not for it to go somewhere else melodically, which you could do with some kind of bridge, but to be bombastic, or exciting or powerful, but then we kind of just get this flat little musical break with like a 3-note, solo. Or 5 notes or whatever it is, There's... And this this is just lackluster for me, this bit. So again, I just think missed the trick on that, And I know it's not easy, because I've got the first song on the album sorted, like structure-wise. The second song is a song called When You Sleep, which is about obsession. And for me, that I've got the minute it's kind of going like verse, chorus, with a little solo in it or a little break. And I'm listening to that thinking, there is more of a dynamic sort of... It's difficult to talk about that, because you ain't got a bloody clue what I'm, talking about unless you're watching this, a couple of years down the line maybe, But I suppose it's why I enjoy reacting to albums so much, It is understanding... Because before I started reacting, I didn't really articulate this stuff that well, and it is definitely making me better as an artist myself. But there is such, feeling and meaning in this song for the first 2/3, and then it just kind of feels a bit like... where do we go here? Well, let's just hang 5 for 2 seconds and do the chorus again. So as much as I love so much about this song, it just it doesn't stick the landing, unfortunately. Would you agree?
only out in Paris if you talk like that. It was tough at the time, but you coming back, get your taste back. You just need a little.
And so here, like, you know, some of this melody is interesting, that you, whatever it is. But again, man, like, well, again, I don't know if I've said this before, probably not again. Why is the vocal so buried in this, you know? I don't think it serves the song very well. And there is a case to be made, you know, that the vocals can be buried, you know. But I'm not sure why that is the case here, because there is nothing melodically or exciting going on that sort of takes precedent over it, you know. It feels just a bit of a mess mix-wise, you know. You know, like you've got your paint colours and you've just sort of mixed them all together. Yeah, so this one, I think it's the mix that lets this down. Like it feels like everything is competing for space, you know what I mean?
When it all adds up to nothing.
So this one is much better, like as a song. I think it's much more interesting. It's a beautiful melody, and then coming into this break here, you know, I'm not even sure what it is. The instrument, you know, ooh, that like sounds lovely, and like there's an emotion in it. But again, I would question who the hell has mixed this album. I suppose maybe some different people have, because you know it kind of. Just these last couple of tracks, you know, why are the drums like so high in the mix, you know? Why are the synths so like high? It just doesn't. Everything is just competing for space, you know. There's no nuance. Maybe it's not an album for listening in headphones. I wonder what it sounds like in speakers. Maybe I should listen to it in speakers.
You apologize, dirty clown, playing the waiting game.
So that's a great melody there, isn't it? That little bit.
All adds up to nothing. When it all adds up to nothing.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you found someone to put your arms around, playing a waiting game. That's fucking gorgeous, isn't it? You know. But why the hell is it's buried like that with that, you know, like a fucking, like some, you know, robot dog yapping in the background, like. But this bit now is beautiful. And those strings, you know, as disconcerting as they are, they fit, they feel, you know, nice.
Knowing it won't make the grade.
Yeah, this bit's real nice.
You gotta sit yourself down sometimes. It's hard to tell and the thoughts are my own.
So I'd say again, like this one starts off like so well with such emotion in the music, you know, and that loose snare sound. I love the synth, that sound, you know, Depeche Mode-esque. But for example, with Depeche, if this was like a Depeche Mode song, you know, you'd have the strength of, you know, Dave Gahan's vocal coming in, or Martin Gore doing his, you know, his falsetto thing or something like clear and beautiful, which it's in I think the juxtaposition between two things that highlights the beauty of something, I think. But from an emotional point of view, you know, I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm trying to articulate how or why emotionally sounds or records or songs or, you know, whatever make me feel a certain way. It could have had so much more impact. It could have been so much more beautiful if it wasn't buried in effect like it is, you know. But there really does not feel to be any sort of dynamic range, you know, or silence or volume used as an emotional tool, you know. too compressed, man. See, those drums sound great. So I think that, like, musically on this tune, it's got a groove, hasn't it? You know, there's a good choice of instruments, of things dropping in and out. So there's a great sort of, I don't know if it's a vocal, maybe over here, moving a little bit, just maybe doing the melody up high or something, or a slightly different one, and I can barely hear it, you know, and just, not that thing needs to be any more prominent or anything, but it's just, there's not enough space, you know, in the mix. All of these different instruments, you should be able to hear them all at the same time, you know, like separately. When you think about it, you know, when you look for them, but it's just there is, as many great records prove, the space for everything, you know. There's a spectrum, a frequency, and different instruments operate on different frequencies, you know. So when you mix stuff, you can use the spectrum of frequency to give things their own space, but also, you know, the pannings, the left to right. I just find this missed opportunity, you know, because this song has got great sounds on it, you know. Can you hear that if you listen on headphones? It's beautiful. Yeah, so I think there's some really good. Okay, I'll drop down a light, 2 lights now, but it's fading out towards the end, I guess. Yeah, so that's a groove, isn't it, man? You know, there's a good, like, vibe-driven song in there, some great sounds. But I felt like I really had to listen for it, you know, and sort of try and translate it in my head how it should sound, because it just, yeah. There was just no dynamic range at all, you know. It doesn't affect me like it should, you know. They're not servicing the record, you know. It's a shame. Or the song, you know. Well, I mean, that's what I think. What do you think? Am I crazy? The line. Just for tonight, let's go hang over chairs. This one's got it, man. This one's got it. So, like, it was a problem live, but it's not an issue, I don't think, all the way through this album, because this one's got it, you know. It's got dynamic range. Not massively, but it's just enough, you know. It starts a little bit more gently, a little bit more quietly. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Tell me your fears. I've turned back the clocks, it's that time of year. If we stay the course, we could get it right. But I'm not devoid of an appetite, and everything seems to be coming up roses. So those plucks on the strings are just rising slowly, aren't they, you know? Does that mean we're not aligned? Just for tonight, and then, do you know what I mean? It builds, doesn't it? Just slightly, like, not just in the way they're playing or the way he's singing, but the volume, you know. It's not super compressed. So when this bit hits, it hits. You know what I mean? There's something there. Whereas if it was squashed like a lot of the other songs are, those moments don't hit. Face through the truth. And his voice just cuts through there, doesn't it? It's beautiful. Just say the word and we'll take up the test. There's only me and... So I wonder, because I was thinking on the other songs, for me, the drums just seem to be overpowering a little bit in the mix. And there are no drums on this one yet. I can't remember if any drums come in on this song, so that'll be interesting to see if there are, how that hits, you know. I'm feeling guilty and worried, dear. Did you think that I am? And as well, like the what I was saying about frequency, this is a great example of how to do it so well, you know. Because I don't know what all the different string instruments are called, what it would be like cello, viola, violin, I don't know, double bass, that range of frequencies, of sounds, they are here in this, there's the one doing the sort of picking, that takes one frequency, it's sort of panned across to the left. His voice is in the middle and his voice is occupying another frequency. Then you've got this deep one that comes in over here, and then you've got like a really, really high one that comes in, like sort of, it's in the middle, I guess, but visually to me, it's sort of up here, and it fills the space correctly, in the mix, and it's all together, but you feel it all separately, also,
Just say the word and we'll take up the test, where we flirt with the bad ones and skip all the rest. But we see out the night with your head on my chest, me and you.
The bass guitar's in the middle.
There's only me and you.
Well,
I see your tears.
Yeah, that real deep cello, would it be, or something?
Now it appears that I'm feeling guilty and worried.
See, when that comes in, I kind of feel like it's off to the right a bit, but it's irrelevant where it is because it fills the space really well. But it's the frequency that it's at, It's the choice of instruments and the different instruments playing their different parts, and it's accentuated by it being mixed well, and the instruments not competing for the same space, Which I think maybe it's a choice of instruments on some of the other songs, or maybe it's the mix. Again, I'm unsure about, again, the mix of this. Maybe it's the song. I think there's good ideas in here again, but I feel like the melody could be or should be more prominent, because there's that synth like oscillating, doing the whatever, the and it's that and the drums seem to take precedent over the vocal or over the melody, when they're not that interesting, as nice as some of the sounds are. There's that guitar line as well, which I'm not sure whether it wants to be buried or out. Maybe it should be panned or something. So again, it's like a real nice sort of chorus melody line, isn't it? And retort. But yeah, it feels like we're listening from like outside the venue or something. You know what I mean? To me, anyway. So I'm just kind of a bit bored at this point with this one.
Gift it is to be noticed.
That sounds lovely to begin with.
It's a little bit complicated when they put an image in your head and now you're stuck with it. 33.
Yeah, this is nice, this tune, isn't it? Feels nice, nice melody, like.
And life within you means with water.
I think this is an example of a good mix, Like I was saying, the space for the drum, the drums, the vocals, the bass, they all sort of dance around each other without stepping on each other's toes, which is a good example, I think, in comparison to Coming Up Roses, which it was mainly the strings that were doing that, So what's my point? My point is that you can do that with the electronic stuff as well, But because there aren't things competing for frequencies, it allows the emotion carry through, I think. Yeah, nice little tune, that one. Sounded good as well. I like how this feel sort of comes full circle, doesn't it? Let's play Apachana for a second. Yeah. Okay, so it's bookends the albums nicely, don't they? Yeah, this sounds beautiful. So that lead synth line there just pops, doesn't it? Jumps out at you. And now these drums, I know that they're fading in, and it's not like the drums need to be the same level in every song or whatever, it needs to serve the song. But there is like an electronic snare going on there, that's just not... It serves the song, doesn't it? Yeah, this mix is real nice. Why couldn't they all be like this, It just makes it so much easier to feel it, to feel something. Beautiful. Like what? Why? Like what? How can they get this so right and some of the other ones so wrong? It blows my mind. Like I don't understand. The sound's fantastic. Your eyes open up, changing summer light. Lovely piano run there. So there's just space for everything, isn't there? You know what I mean? This song is dancing at me, So man, isn't that just like cool? Like, things can be repetitious without being boring. You know what I mean? And this song does that really well. How those drums just sort of break down. Something kind of the jazz element, I guess. Is that things sort of hold the beat, hold the rhythm, and then other things can dance around it. And I think when things fail sometimes on this album is when everything is too rigid, and there is nothing really doing the dance. You know what I mean? But this is a great example how the drums just sort of go off and do the dance, and then when they're sort of done doing their thing, they just come back in onto the beat, onto the rhythm, and it just feels great. It's on the beat there, isn't it? The vocal did the little variation there. Now the space. And now it's the vocal, isn't it? And the bass. That are really holding the song down, and the emotion is in the drums now, isn't it? You know what I mean? And now it's just back to business again, like, yeah, cool. So this is a song, isn't it? It's a great song. Makes me feel something all the way through, takes me on a journey. So yeah, like a great tune to finish, man. So I mean, yeah, has my opinion changed? I think I do. Since listening to the concert, going through this album now, I think my opinion of it has improved. Aperture and American Girls, I think, are great. Ready, Steady, Go. Missed Opportunities. Are You Listening Yet? Fantastic beginning, and then it just sort of like it just turns into nothing, It's a real, again, missed opportunity. Taste Back, you can just delete that one. That's fine. The Waiting Game, great melody, great idea, just poor mix, It's a bit of a mess. Season 2, Weight Loss. Again, a great vibe, spoilt by a very, very poor mix, I think. Coming Up Roses, beautiful. Pop. I think there's not... Everything is too rigid, I suppose. The vocals buried too much. I don't think it really knows what it wants to be. It's repetitious without it's too repetitious, or everything in it is too repetitious, I think, and there's not enough there's not enough jumping out here, you know, there's not enough icing or beauty, you know, like how I said, how the drums go off in Carla's song and do their thing, you know. Dance No More, yeah, I can give or take it. Paint by Numbers, beautiful little tune. Carla song, yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful, emotive piece of music, you know. So yeah, is this an album I'm going to be putting on and spinning? I mean, if I'm going to stick anything on like a playlist, I think Carla's song is probably the one I would maybe come back and listen to. As much as some of the others were like nice, you know, I really feel like Carla's song was making me feel something, you know. But, you know, maybe, you know, if I just put the mix on, it kind of plays what you've been listening to recently. So maybe some things will pop up. But overall, you know, I enjoyed listening to that, guys, and just sort of working out why I love what I love and why I don't like what I don't like, you know what I mean? And I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think about my comments and about the album in general. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Love to you. See you later.